Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to our today live stream. And I'm Kanyo. I'm a graphic and a brand designer. And my main area of concern, like I help purpose-driven business to build bold and strategic, and to get standard, to get noticed, and actually to make more sales. So today we'll be diving into something that most small business owners they don't realize about graphic design. And I can say that these things are myths that are actually costing them thousands of shillings without even knowing it. So we'll go through five major myths and I will use major examples. Like I'll use real life examples, and by the end you'll know how to make things, you know how to make smarter decision that will grow your business. Plus, I'll answer your question live if you have your question live. So you may drop them in the chat section as we go step by step. I want to know, like, what is your biggest struggle when it comes to design? And what is your biggest design struggle in design? You may give it a thought in the comment section. So design is just like there's this myth that it has been misinterpreted mostly. Like design is just making things to look. Let me say it in this manner. That mean it is anything. Why? Know that shaping that colors, making the font to look, or making those fonts together. But here's the truth: design is strategy in business. So I'll explain my misconception here. Most small business owners they believe a logo or maybe a website should look cool without even realizing it has a purpose. Do you know that it communicates your story? It builds trust and it actually convert its customer. So having a good logo or a pretty logo that does not speak to your audience, like it does not have any audience, it's like a car without an engine. So it may look good, but it will get you nowhere. I would like to use an example. I would like to use an example of a local bakery. Let us say that James Bakery, he had a cute logo and he had a cute pastels. That bakery, it has cute logo. It has best colors or pastel colors, which they usually refers it into the colors that match the bakery, and it has some fancy fonts. So sales in his bakery, sales were okay, but the brand was not growing. So after after designing the logo to include a bread icon, some warm earthly colors, and a clear tagline, like you may include fresh, daily, and delicious. To include that the brand itself, it includes that the foot traffic it includes about the business. Then what next? The 35% in 2 months. So that is the importance of you getting yourself something that really communicates in your place. So design, remember that design tell the story and the freshness of example. They post instantly. So think of your design as your silent salesperson. Think of your design like a silent salesperson. Every graphic, every flyer, they should communicate you, who you are, and why your customer should trust you. So you may ask yourself, what story is my design telling? And that is all about when it comes to design, about making things pretty. But things to be as can grasp a concept of each. Explain in this manner. This one is the one of the most common myth that it is damaging your small businesses. Why? Like, why should I pay for design when there are free tools like Canva? Yes, I'm not limiting you. You know that there are those free tools, or this myth they say that I can get a logo. Say Photoshop, so he can just do it. So this is how investment design just decoration, something that they can grow together for free and move on. But here is the trap. Like they say that cheap is very expensive. And yes, that is true. Cheap design is very expensive, and it is a mistake that small business make, because bad design doesn't look bad, it destroys trust, and at times it usually confuses more customers, and at times you may see that it usually kills your conversion silently. So think about that. I like to use example. I use example of clothing brand. So that they stay broke for 6 months, and like I said, that a clothing brand that stay broke for 6 months, or a startup clothes, they wanted a logo quickly. Like there's a clothing brand that's safe for that 6 months, and then there's another one which is a startup. It usually do deals with clothing, and they usually needed a logo quickly. So they uses a free logo generator, and when it comes to that, their logo also it looks generic, and as you can see, their logo it was used by over 50 brands, and the color did not match their target audience. So the logo had not it had no meaning, and it had no story. So what did it happen? Their audience did not trust the brand, because you can imagine that having a color more like the logo, it has been in such a manner that it does not really communicate something. Okay, so it really messed them, because they use their logo is so generic, and they have been using free tools, and the colors have been used with more any other brands. So what happened? Their audience, they really did not trust their brand. So the customers, they were kept, or they usually they kept asking, is this a legit brand? and their page look like a random Instagram shop. No returning customers and sell stayed low. So then they finally invested. So after their sales stay slow, they invested in a professional brand identity. When I'm saying that brand identity it includes your logo, your color, palettes, everything fonts. So that is what we call the brand identity. Brand identity really communicate in your design a lot because brand identity is a game changer and you must have it in your case. So after acquiring a professional designer who created them for a professional brand identity, the result actually changed. And that designer, he came up with a new logo. The new logo with meaning, not just a logo. You must get something with meaning. So the new logo with meaning, the professional colors, he usually came up with the professional colors. The professional designer, he came up with the cohesive social media post or a social media branding. Then the designer himself, he came up with the strong product packaging. As you can see, that is how things are. The importance of having a professional brand designer. So their sales doubled and it doubled. Why? It doubled because they had said with the same product but better branding or an improved branding. Hi, John Kerry. So remember that people buy identity, they buy trust, and they buy aesthetic. So it cannot give you, it cannot buy you identity, it cannot buy you trust, and it cannot buy you aesthetic. I'll use a second example, which is a coffee shop. And when I'm saying the coffee shop, there's this coffee shop that look like every other coffee shop. And the coffee shop used free templates. They use some stock images, random colors, and some clipart copy cups, which it was overused and overused Pinterest styles. You know, when you're a graphic designer, you must have your source of inspiration. You find that your source of inspiration at times is Pinterest. So Pinterest deliver, and there's some overused Pinterest styles and fonts. So when that coffee shop used that, the result came that there were low engagement. The people scrolled past their post, and there were no personality in their brand. There were no brand voice, and you could find that they hired a designer to create another one. So remember that custom branded social media post. They hired a designer to create the custom social media posts or a social media branding. Then that designer he created an original photo based on their content. Then they had a unique color palette or brand identity. Then they did some signature typography and beautiful menu structure. So within a month, you can able to tell that there's a different when it comes to that. Within a month, their likes striped, their share tripled, and people say that I must visit this place because you can see there's a different when it comes to their brand identity. So it's these things you can able to tell a difference, and this difference it helps a lot when it comes to a business because now the brand had a vibe, the brand had an identity, and the brand had a story. So templates make you look like an everyone else. But what about a custom design? A design that has started from scratch. It makes you unforgettable. Okay? Consider that. This is another one called this for church. Then we are having a problem when it comes to church posters. We find that a local church kept using free Canva templates from their posters. Everyone, when every event, it looked the same as every other church online. So members they did not feel excited because nothing looked fresh. Okay, so after brand designer created a custom, the imposter, you know, uh, these designers, they are very intelligent, and they look at the brand weakness and they try to figure it out. What does the brand really need? And you can see that weekly services, they really look unique. So youth events, we got high attendance, and people were proud to share the posters because it was so unique. It was communicating well, and that is the importance of having branding. And that branding, it finally matched the colors church energy. So what is that is this is what happens when design stop being just free templates alone. Okay, so you should stop focusing on price. Stop focusing on the price. Start focusing on return of on investment. So instead of asking how much does this design cost, ask how much money am I losing not investing in this design. Remember that a good design brings trust, sales, recognition, loyalty, and a better marketing. I'll not forget about that. When you are having a good design, it brings that trust in your business, loyalty. You are promoting your marketing, like it is a better marketing. You are being recognized, then you are improving yourself. So you may use the so that is the importance of having something that really communicate well. You may use those free tools, but you should not don't rely on them for branding. Remember that free tools are good for quick graphics, which as brand designers we don't like quick. We focus on return of return on investment, the ROE. And free tools, you will find them that are good for simple edits, temporary posts, but it is not good for logo design. It's not good when it comes to logo design or brand identity. So consider that. Then these free tools are not good for packaging because you may find that these free tools sometimes they are not that vector based. So it usually lacks something that really communicates well when it comes to your branding. So it is not good for that. And at the same time, it's not good for rebranding or a website layout because these things they need strategy and not templates. So create a design, create a design budget, yes. Like even small business can afford good design. So start with the essentials like logo, brand colors, and typography. So consider that. Start with those essentials, things that it might be required as soon as possible, like logo, brand colors, typography. Then you may add more later, like packaging, posters, social media kit, and even website. Really matter a lot. Remember that you don't have to spend everything at once. Just build your brand step by step. You build the brand sketch. It is a step by step process in an order. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you: have you ever get something cheap, self regretting on why you choose? Tell me your thoughts. matter in small business. And this is it has been misunderstood. Remember that branding matters a lot. You cannot say that branding does not matter for small business. It really matters. So this is the myth that it usually destroys small businesses than even competition, because you may find that these larger brands, they have invested more on branding, and that branding, it attracts the customers very well. So most business owners, small business owners, you may find them that they say that branding is for big companies like Coca-Cola, that branding is for big companies like Safaricom, that branding is for big companies. Like mention all the how they have been told that small business, they don't need all that, they just need sales, and which is totally wrong. So if you're getting yourself that you say that as small businesses they don't need branding, then you are confusing yourself. I only need a product, then customers will come. Really? Does it really make sense? You must invest in making yourself digitally available, investing on a professional brand design. Okay? So you may consider that, bring that clarity, it brings that sense of attracting customers. So branding is what makes people choose you. If you have never, if you really don't know that branding is what makes people to choose you. Branding is what makes people to trust you. And even don't forget to remember you. Don't forget branding to remember you. Okay? So think of branding like your silent handshake. Your branding is like your silent handshake. Branding is like your first impression. Then branding is like your repetition, reputation. Let me speak in like, sorry, reputation. Think of branding like your reputation, but in visual form. Your reputation in visual form. So consider that, and then definitely customers will be able to very well. So I like to use examples when it comes to that, and that myth when it comes to when people say that small businesses they don't need branding, but actually they need branding. You may say that there is a local salon, that look, and their salon, it actually it offered some types of services. It was offering braiding, it was offering makeup, it was wash and blow dry. Not a local salon that look too basic. So no logo, they had no random colors, and their posters, that it was just made using WhatsApp status templates. As you can see, you have been able to know how about those WhatsApp status templates. So different fonts of every week, like every look like nothing more. So when you are having yourself a brand, then you start yourself getting yourself in this type of scenario where you don't have a logo, you don't have a color. Like you just pick any color, you just pick yourself color. Pick this week you have this type of personality and to attract new clients. Then your bookings remain flat. Then what about their page? Their page look like every other salon. So the clients, they keep saying, your results, yes, are really good, but I forgot the name of your page. Why? Different branding, different font every week, different brand personality, no logo, no random colors. So what about their bookings? Their bookings remain flat, hard to attract new clients. And what about their page? Their page look like every other salon. So clients keep saying that your results are good, but I forgot the name of your page. The other say that, do you have a fixed color theme? Because they are being confused. Why does your page look different every time and then? Why does your page look different every time and then? So now watch what happened. After that local saloon acquire, they try to get a professional rebrand. And when they have that rebrand, the professional brand designer, he first identify the quality logo for the business. He get designers, he gets them modern fonts, the fonts that are modern and really communicate well. The professional designer again, he came up with a new brand colors. You know, when you are operating a saloon, then the colors that you cannot use a saloon color in a butchery color. So you must able to know to be able to differentiate those things. That color that really matches from the saloon. You know, when it comes to saloon, mostly are ladies, and when it comes to saloon, ladies mostly we find them they like pink, some sort of gold colors, goldish color. So you cannot add their red, can you? You can't. So that's difference come in. The professional, when they had the professional brand designer, he helped them to come up with the new colors, like soft pink or gold, something like that. So under consistency feed layout, and they actually their business really converted, and that is the work of a professional brand designer. You may get high quality branded posters, then the branded price list. So within some months, their booking it actually increased, and their clients could say that they began tagging them proudly, and people started to share their posts. Then it finally looked one because recognizable. So what are we learning from this? Small business, they don't just lose customers because of service. They lose them because of forgettable branding, not position in the market. Remember, consider that. So there's this another online shop or an online store. It had a great product, but they had no identity. So that online store, they used sold the clothes, they had home items, and so the problem was here. Their visual was all over the place. If you could see their Instagram, it looked different from Facebook. So Facebook looked different from the website. Try to remember this. You are running an online business. You have a website, you have Facebook account, you have Instagram, account. So your Facebook account is different. The consistency layout is different. The Facebook layout is different from the layout that it is used. Only that in the other platforms, there were no brand colors and there were no brand voice. Customers, they don't trust what they don't recognize. So if a customer cannot, if a customer cannot trust, must hire a professional brand designer. He came up with strong color lights. He came up with the Instagram page, their website. Then within some couples of weeks, the engagement really increased. Sales. Recognition build trust. Remember that your brand is a silent handshake, as I told you earlier, that your brand is a silent handshake. So before someone buys from you, your brand has already spoken. Is this business trustworthy? And are they serious? Do they care about your quality? So, do they get my style? So, at this point, you need visual to answer yes to all. Only visual. Okay? Visual. So, be consistent because remember that branding is not about perfectionism, it's about being consistent with the market. Organize. Yes, customers trust what they recognize. So choose at least 2 to 3 brand colors that stick to them. You may, example, you may red, green, blue, gold, and black. So remember that consistency creates recognition. Or you may choose 1 to 2 fonts. That is a simple rule. One bold font, one clean secondary font. That alone make your brand to look premium instantly. So even simple things like quotes, announcement, Those things, offers, posters, product photos, add your identity there, add your colors. Remember that branding is equals to familiarity. And what about familiarity? If branding is equals to, or if branding equals to familiarity, what does familiarity equals to? Familiarity equals to trust. So, do you feel your brand is recognizable online? Do you feel yes or no? So, and is it online? Remember that branding is not for big companies. Branding is what makes small business become big companies. Yes, by step. So this type of myth say that good design is expensive and out of reach. Is it really true? Is it really true? Good design is expensive and out of reach. Okay, allow me to explain in this manner. The myth is the reason, like that myth is the reason why small business may find them they stay small. Is that because their product is not because their location is not that well allocated or their location is poor, not because customers don't. A lot of small businesses they remain stuck because they believe professional design is big, like their professional design is big for brands, and I can't afford good branding right now. So let me wait until my brand has grown fast. I'll just design it myself for now. So here's the painful truth. Cheap design is for big, like cheap design kill your business more than competition. And cheap design make unreliable. So cheap design again make you invisible because you look like everyone else in the market. Cheap design forces you, at times it forces you to rebrand every year, which becomes more expensive. Meanwhile, good design pay for itself. Saves you a lot of money in a long time basis, and it creates a brand that people really remember. Remember that a good design is not about luxury, it is a competitive advantage to position you in a well crowded Use this example of a cafe. This cafe, it actually transformed into a small budget. This cafe, their social media posts were inconsistent. Why did not started complaining? I can't I can't see the price. Why is the price different on Instagram and the other one that we see on the like another cafe logo that I see somewhere? And the worst one, I forgot your page name. So when so what's the turning point here? Budget budget friendly brand refresh. Invested in a budget friendly brand or a budget friendly rebrand. They had a clean menu, like a clean list. So but what about the impact? Huge, really huge. Surprisingly, the impact was really huge. Let's get to the result. People started taking photos of the new menu. The cafe, a modern one. So people are trying to take the new photos of the new menu. The cafe was tagged more online. The Instagram, you could feel that they were looking professional. The customers now recognize the cafe. The customer found that the menu was easier to understand. And what about the walkings? The walkings as the visual, but this much. And what was the whole lesson I tried to learn? You don't need a premium budget. You just need a premium clarity in a well-crowded market. So good design doesn't have to be expensive, it has to be so strategic. Okay. So we find that we may have a value as a professional logo. About this when it comes to logo design. You may find that another brand has a vague or a generic logo and the other one has a professional logo. Say that a brand has a generic logo. Most of the time you find it is free. It is really free. It is fast and it can design some. So let me start with this now and then I will improve later. We find that vague brands usually say, but here's the truth. If your logo is so vague or so generic, it has no strategy. It hurts your credibility and it costs more you in the long run because that type of logo it may fails in a way that you don't realize at the beginning. Okay. So when you hire someone who is a professional designer, what is he likely to do for you? A professional designer. Like a professional designer, he does not just design, they strategize, they consider your target audience, they consider your brand personality, and they consider your industry, they consider your competitors, they consider your color psychology. So that is how these brand designers they usually think. They consider another thing is scalability and long term use. They don't just consider something that is short term but long term. Then they try to consider about their brand consistency and like they are creating something that it is visually appealing. You know that you're not just paying for a logo. You are paying for a not something that it will trendy, it will fade on the short term end. So that is how things are. And remember what I've told you that you should stop asking how much is the design. Start asking how much will this design help my business to grow. Like an entrepreneur, think of ROI, return on investment. Like 1,000 Kenyan shillings, it can help you 1,000 in the next 2 years. Remember that 1,000 Kenyan shilling is not that expensive. It is just cheap. So start small if your budget is small, but we begin with a simple logo, two to three colors, two brand colors, one to two fonts, and a set of social media templates. So those four things will alone will make your brand look 10 times more professional. Then create your monthly budget, like your monthly design budget. Even if it is 2,000, 5,000 Kenyan shillings per month, it can get you some posters, can get you some offers, some highlight covers, some Facebook banners, something like that. Then avoid comparing yourself with the big brand. You cannot compare yourself with Coca-Cola. You cannot compare yourself with years that are ahead of you. Like they have really worked on their brand a lot. So avoid comparing yourself to big brand. Remember that small you lose focus. Okay. So let's get to the fifth myth. Talk about things to designers. Really? Like once I've designed for you a poster, or this one is one of the most myths in the entire world of business branding. People think that I created logo once and that is enough. And then my menu looked like people think that you can create a logo once and that is enough. Remember that at times brand changing, and I can like to use example like Equity, they changed their logo. So, but you should focus on something that is timeless. when it comes to design. Another thing is called things like menu. Menu needs to be changed frequently. So I cannot say that you cannot say that my menu I cannot change it. No, it should be changed. So branding is not a one-time project. Consider that branding is not a one-time project. It is a long. You need to be re-updating yourself so that you can stay yourself visually and available in the market. Okay. So here's the truth that separates growing brands from dying brands. We say that design is not a financial destination. It is a continuous journey. Remember that brand evolves, market evolves, and it is a continuous and this visual evolves too. So what worked for 2 years ago might not work today, and what might work today may not work next year. So branding is not a set, like it's not a set, it's not set it and forget it. Branding is an update protocol. You have to update, you have to adapt, you have to refine, you have to refresh. You may think about it like if your business grow, should your brand grow too? Eh? So this myth is so harmful that once you design it, it is done. You must keep redesigning your template, getting yourself, updating yourself, making yourself adaptable when it comes to that. Because yourself, you're not in a comfort zone. You are evolving as step by step. You are improving yourself in your brand. You are improving your brand. There are some things that when I come today, I may find in your brand, in your shop. Then when I come next time, you may add. So we need to update such a thing. So because business stays, what is the main reason why business stays stuck? Because they use outdated logos, they use old social media templates, confusing menus, dull posters, inconsistent visuals, and visuals that really don't match the new services or prices. So branding is no longer fits their target audience. Okay, so when a brand doesn't grow, the customers assume you, and maybe this business is not improving. Maybe they are just outdated. Maybe they don't care. And once customer feel this, you will lose attention, you lose trust, and you lose sales. I like to use an example of a tech startup. It's essentially a tech startup. It actually failed behind. It failed behind. Like a small tech startup, it was launched with a simple logo in 2019. At first, their logo looked modern. It had a clean, it had a fresh and professional, but then time passed. New competitors entered the market. That was 2020. Logo still looked okay. 2021, competitors they updated their looks. 2022, design trends changes. 2023, customers decided to ignore their ads because they felt too old. 2024, growth slowed down. The traffic slowed down. Engagement dropped. Why? Because their brand felt was themselves. So finally, after getting to realize that they need a brand identity, they try to get a new sleek logo, graphic, they try a new color palette, they try a new visual identity. They try to get themselves a simplified website for UI, something like that. And they try to get themselves a modern app icon. And the impact, customers immediately notice the difference. You could feel the difference. Investors say that the brand now looks trustworthy and innovative. What about the engagement? The engagement increased. The app download increased or improved. So that startup felt relevant again. So your brand must evolve to match the level of innovation in your business. And the others, your visual might betray your progress. So that is the importance of getting yourself familiarizing with how you update yourself, how you get things in a well accorded manner. The second example is a local restaurant. A local restaurant, it stayed fresh, and this is an example of example of a small business for small business. But the owner was smart. Every year he did a small, like he did a small brand audit. They tried to refresh posters. They had some new breads, new photographs of dishes. You know, when you're doing yourself in something like that cafe, something like a restaurant, then you need people love that freshness. So they were referring people that this is the best place where you can get you, like this is the best restaurant at the moment. So people remembered the brand because it stayed relevant. It tried to update themselves with the competitive market. It's there for long. So the restaurant ranked, it was ranked high on social media. Actually, it was ranked high on social media. And the people, new customer said, the reason why you must, like, why did this? The first one, audience change. Audience influence a lot. People today, they don't think like people will think in 2030. Taste evolve, expectation rise. So remember that branding is a race and not a one time asset. So you must evolve, update yourself. So remember the second thing on why you need to evolve, competition changes. Your competitors are updating their vision. So if you don't, you look outdated next to them. You have to tell you that branding is a race and not a one-time assessment. Platform change. Instagram design trend change. Facebook layout change. TikTok format evolve. Marketing styles evolve again. So what does it tells you? If a brand look like all Instagram, customer will scroll past you. So remember that customer perception really matters. Your brand is your business personality. So if your visuals stay the services, prices, audience, your brand, as business evolve, maybe you change some values. And so consider this. Do a brand audit at least And are my template clean and consistent? Are my templates still clean and consistent? Are they? Are my colors still relevant? So, do my visual reflect on my current audience? So, that's the importance of doing a brand audit. If not, then you need a refresh. Then consider keeping your core identity, your core values, but evolve your style. Full level. Just update your photos, just update your typography, but big transformation. Then watch design trends, but do not watch them just to stay aware. Then the other thing, you need to listen to your audience feedback. If customers say your menu is hard to read, like what should you do? You must try to get yourself updated. You update your menu so as customers can able to read very well. Then what if they tell you that your post looks so crowded, your logo look old, your colors look dull? That is a sign to evolve. So update your social media templates seasonally, and this is the easiest way to stay fresh. Like every 3 to 6 months, update your font, change color accent, refresh your layout, try new styles, and modernize your brand content. Then your audience will feel the difference. So, when was the last time you updated your logo or your brand vision? So, you must consider that trying to update yourself, it really position you in the modern market. Remember that design is not something you finished. Design is something that you continuously need to improve it. So design is something that you continuously need to improve it. So if your business grow, your brand must grow with it, or it will hold you back. So remember that there is part you may see that there are trendy design, trendy branding versus timeless branding. What is the difference when it comes to that? I'd like to talk about that point. So before we wrap up, here is one of one of the most dangerous myths that it quietly destroy many small businesses. About trend matters more than your brand. So many business owners feel like they must follow every new design trends, neon garden, liquid shape, something like that. But here is the truth most people they don't want to hear. Trendy fades. Trendy fades. Trend confuse your audience, and trend can make your brand look inconsistent. So your brand should last years and not 3 months. Timeless. Invest in something that is really timeless. A timeless brand build recognition. A trendy brand build confusion. So why this month is so dangerous? Because brand owners start chasing everything new. You find something new, every color new. Let me change mine. You find someone else change something, you want to change. Minimalism in trending. Then let me remove everything. If you go there, you find that 3D logos are yours again. You try if that, let me update myself. So you can able to see the difference. Flat design back, but try to switch. Let me switch back. No consistency, no recognition, no identity. Confused customers, no brand identity. The difference, okay, or weak brand identity, because you are confusing yourself with a lot of things. So you'll end up reinventing your brand every few months, and your customers they can't keep up. So branding is about for years. So I use example of a small business boutique. This type of boutique, they kept updating their logo to match whenever it was trending on Instagram. Year one, they had a handwritten font. Hey, you could feel the difference. Year four, minimal, but one color. Minimal design, one color. Year five, you could feel that they are just some bubbly retro letters. So they kept thinking that we want a modern look because things are evolving. So they wanted this really the same shop, or did the ownership change? Because every year I could feel there's a difference every year. And why does everything look different every year? And guess what? Brand recognition dropped. Returning customers decreased because of changing things every now and then. Changing now things every now and then. So returning customers decreased and their engagement became inconsistent. Then finally they tried to get themselves a smart move. They created a one timeless identity. I tried to use Safaricom. Safaricom has been trying to use a one timeless identity, and they get a clean word mark, a minimal icon, and neutral, elegant, something like that. So this type of design, yes, it was simple, but it has a long-lasting typography, and suddenly their brand become that recognizable because customer trusted the brand more. Their sales improved simply because of you investing in a professional design. Remember that trends come and go, but what about recognition? They stays forever. I remember there were two. This a tech startup again. Like TikTok trends every now and then. The thing when there is a neon color, you could feel they try to adopt that thing. Glowing buttons, viral fonts, experimental shape. At times you could feel that it looked fun, but each update made the app feel like it's a different brand. Imagine you are being referred to someone, you are being told that go to at certain apartment where their gate is blue, then you find their gate is yellow. Will you really get yourself inside there? You won't find, because first you have been told that the gate is blue, then you are finding yellow. So you could see there's a difference. So if you can, then maybe the ownership has changed. Timeless color palette, a simple typography, and a clean layout. They try to get themselves a strong brand voice with fewer elements, more clarity. What about the outcome? Trend should the outcome trend should be like a seasoning. A little bit it enhances the flavor. Too much spoils. So you may use trend in social media posts, campaign, and posters, but keep your core identity the same. This core identity choose your core colors, have your same icon. So if someone is try to change your style but not your identity, instead of changing your dialogue, yes, trends are fun. Trends are fun, but they are temporarily. They are temporarily. Trends are fun, but they are temporary. Your brand should be timeless, something that people could recognize instantly, even years from now. So as I wrap up, I'd like to give let's summarize what we have learned today. The design is just making things look pretty. The myth, but the reality, design is strategy, design is clarity, design is communication, and conversion. Then the second myth, anyone can design for free. Just remember that it does not come like it doesn't it is not in such a manner. Okay? Now that we have come up to our end session, if you want help building a brand that actually convert customers and trust and make your business look professional, I'm currently offering free consultation. You may DM me or click the link for the session, and I'll also send you a free brand audit checklist so as you can be able to evaluate whether your current design is helping your business to grow silently or hurting it. Okay? So thank you so much for joining today. Remember that design is not about decoration. Design is strategy, design is communication and trust. So don't let the myth limit your business. Okay?